Hey there guys, it's Jeremy with the Level Designer channel, and here is going to be my first video for Blocktober. If you guys didn't see my last video, I basically made it a challenge for the month of October to do a few projects and to hopefully upload daily some videos, just doing some level design stuff. So, um, if let me take a look here and bring up these plans. So the third is the first day that this is gonna be popping up, and for the next week, we will be working within Unity, and we're gonna be making a open world level. And kind of the theme is Viking zombies. So I kind of wanted to get a few things set up, and I kind of went over a few tools like Pro Builder, and went over kind of how to use Unity as far as a using a few level design techniques goes. So that's kind of what we're going to be using for this next week. I don't know how long these videos are going to be, but I'm going to try to keep them around an hour long each day. So yeah, we'll kind of get started now. So right now, we kind of have just this very plain, basic kind of just field. I got this Viking character going, and I kind of put in a custom animation walk and a run and stuff. And as you can kind of see, that's the model. Someone recreated the axe from God of War, so I just kind of put that in there, and just wanted to make it look good. I don't have any sort of like attack system or like any NPCs, so I may add that later. I'm not entirely sure, but I just wanted to kind of get through the first few videos and start really laying out the world. So kind of the first step that I wanted to kind of go over was start working on the terrain. And terrain is something that I haven't really, shown off really. Um, but the terrain is a really good system to use if you want to start kind of building out your entire world, especially if it's an open world game. It'd be really, really good to. It'd be really good to, start with a good terrain. And a lot of your, this could be kind of something that your environmental artists probably would more work on than just a level designer. But you could also just probably work with some just terrain tools and just kind of get a general layout of what the terrain should be, and match artwork and whatnot. Sadly, we don't have any sort of like artwork. So for as far as terrain, we're just gonna try to build out a nice little starting area. We're gonna just work on a main maybe Viking camp, and then there's gonna be a bigger Viking village some ways around. So we're kind of start with that. So to bring up the terrain system, you would want to go to the package manager, kind of where we got the Pro Builder asset. But by default, it's not actually going to show up. So what you're going to want to do to get the terrain tools is if you go to Edit here and go to Project Settings, these will open up. And you'll want to go to Package Manager right here. And then there's an Enable Preview Packages button right here. And you'll want to enable that because if you don't, then the terrain tools will not show up. So if you do that, and then you go back to Package Manager, you'll see that you'll see some of these new packages right here that are preview. So if you go down to Terrain Tools right here, you'll see that you can install it just like Pro Builder. So we'll install that real fast. It might take a while. Might take a while. That's kind of the fun about this video series. Is yeah. All right, cool. So we have the terrain tools in here now. I believe so. I'm going to hit this download asset samples from the asset store. And what that will do is it will kind of bring up this. Am I signed in, by the way? I'm not. I want to sign in real fast. Okay. So I signed into the asset store here. So you can see there's these terrain tool sample asset pack. I'm just going to download these. I believe this gives you a few this gives you a few options as far as I think brushes and textures that you can use for terrain. So that's something that I definitely want to use, especially in kind of this prototype kind of stage in building a level like this. But that's not to say that later, you know, if you have an artist on your team or if you hire somebody that makes, you know, textures or set brushes, because this system uses, you know, like black and white brushes. I forgot what the name of it is, but, you know, maybe there's a specific, you know, outline of like a mountain range or something that you want to build. You know, they can definitely, an artist can definitely go in and create those assets for you, especially textures. But right now we're going to import this. And this should get us a good start on the terrain tools. And should give us a good amount of brushes and all that. I believe. I don't know. I thought I imported it, but the import button is still there. No, it's good. Okay. So, with that in mind, there's a few things that we can do. But to bring up the terrain tools, I'm going to go to Window, and you can see that there is a terrain, there's a terrain toolbox here. So if I open that, you have terrain tools right here. And I'm going to actually dock this right next to Pro Builder. That way I have a kind of a good window here to work with. And I might even, yeah, bring that over like this. So right here, I'm going to kind of just move some things around. So right here, you can actually create a terrain tile. And kind of by default, there's a 500 by 500 by 500. You can definitely change these. You can make it bigger to like a 2000 if you wish. You know, you could do anything. But I'm going to keep it around 500, 500, 500 for now. And if I feel like I need to make it bigger later, I can definitely do that. So I'm just going to go and create this. And right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this ground. Actually, yeah, I'm going to select this ground. And I'm going to disable it. But this terrain right here, actually, I'm going to move the character. So There we go. So if you have Pro Builder enabled, make sure that when you want to move things around, you have object selection on, because that's going to really make your life a little bit more easier. Because I had the face selection for Pro Builder on, so make sure that if you do have Pro Builder enabled, you have the object selection here at the very top of the scene view. Because I was like, why is that little thing not popping up? That would be why. Kind of had a little brain fart there. But I am going to move this around a bit. I'm gonna probably actually move this character really kind of just right here. And if you press F, you can actually focus on him. What I'm gonna do though is I'm going to play this, and I just want to check to make sure that all the collisions are good. I want to make sure that I can actually walk on this terrain. So as you can see, yeah, you can walk, and it collides very well. I do wanna say though, because there's a lot of fog and it's kind of hard to see. If you want to kind of make this a little bit more easier as far as editing, you can actually go up here and to this kind of like view toggle kind of option up here, and you could actually disable the fog, and then that will make it, I think, a little bit easier to please refresh. I don't know what that is, but I don't know if that's gonna necessarily, yeah, it won't really affect it in play mode, but it will, I think more this kind of white fog effect could be kind of due to maybe just how big the terrain is, but that's fine. Let's actually now get into the fun bits of this. So let me see. If we click this terrain, you see that now it's all highlighted. And what we're going to do is we're going to really zoom out here, and we're going to start sculpting things. So I'm going to kind of move this over a bit, and then kind of start out. You want to go over to the inspector here, and there's going to be this paint terrain button right here, where if you click that, it's going to give you a lot of options as far as building everything out. And of course, we want to keep in mind that when we build out terrain and stuff, especially in this kind of area where the player's at, we'll want to adjust our player afterwards, because if we really rise, if we really, I should, I don't know why it's brush strength, a sculpt, razor, yeah, here we go. So we have to be kind of careful, because if we make a mountain like this, our character will be like, yeah, it will be under the mountain. So we don't want to necessarily do that, but we can always adjust it later. But what I want to do is I want to start kind of on a very basic plain layer. Whoa, that is really interesting. So that's kind of, yeah, that's what we want. So I'm really trying to make sure that I really want to make some bigger kind of just hill areas, just to start out with. I don't really want to go too overboard right now as far as putting a lot of details in. I just really want to make kind of some hilly areas. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to make some hills. And if you're moving around and the camera is kind of slow, if you hold shift, that will kind of speed some things up a bit. So I'm just gonna build just some good areas. I don't know if I'll want to go that high, but I just want to start out with like a very good foundation of just making sure that an area doesn't look too bad, you know, too crazy. And hopefully, you know, with this, you know, there's some stuff that looks kind of. I don't like the way that this hill though right here is a bit big. So what you could do is if and I didn't say this and I should have. By default, it was on Sculpt Bridge, and what Sculpt Bridge does is if you, let's say if you do, if you click there, click there. Oh no, there's there's something that you can create like bridges, and that probably is that one. But what we're gonna do is I selected raise and lower terrain, and that is kind of where you really sculpt the terrain to look different. So with the raise and lower terrain, by default, you know, you can raise the terrain like that. That's really a lot. But if you hold shift, you can actually, or no, not shift. If you hit control, you can actually lower some stuff. So we can kind of lower some things here. I rather kind of lower some stuff. Actually, I think this is kind of good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use kind of this as a base level for the base kind of level for everything. And this is going to be where kind of the flat parts of the level is. So I'm going to take my player here, and I'm just going to move them right here. So if we play now, we should see that everything is, you know, looking pretty good. I think so, anyway. And then, I don't know, it might take a little while for us to walk over, but what should happen is we should be able to run up this hill that we created. As you can see, we've ran up the hill. So yeah, this is kind of the basics of making terrain and whatnot. So it's looking pretty good right now, but I want to add a little bit more. This is kind of not really. It's not really looking like a place where Vikings would live necessarily. I mean, maybe if they went down to England, that would be one thing. But let's really make some mountains. Let's build a good mountain range, and then let's build some smaller kind of mountainous areas. So what we could do is, if we go back to the paint terrain tools right here, we can go down and lower the strength here, and this is where I'm editing the strength. You can't really see it right now, but there is some numbers right here that you could you know, use. Actually, let me try to do this just to make it a little bit more seeable. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some mountains. So right now I was kind of using this kind of radial brush for the hills, and I think this is kind of a good start. I think I'm going to really lower this strength though, and I don't know, I'm going to really smooth this area out. Just cause I just want a base kind of layer ground. And of course, we're gonna have to move our guy up later, but that's fine. But I want to start getting some mountains. So there's a few brushes here that we could use. I want to use this one though, or at least try to create something with that. I'm really gonna kind of make this a bit smaller, but I'm going to make the strength like, it may be a bit much. For me, I really like to kind of start lower and then just build up high. So that's kind of what I want to do. I am going to probably start out with something like this. But I'm probably going to build this out a little bit. I think that's a bit too big. So I'm just going to create like just some small kind of just pockets here. And you kind of see that, you know, this is kind of there's definitely kind of a line. Whoa, that is, that is not what I wanted. Yeah, I just think that I'm gonna kind of build out kind of I don't know, I just want to hide this like line. You can see that there's kind of a line in this terrain here, and I really just want to kind of get rid of that. There's also you could smooth things out too. Smooth height. Yeah, so you could actually smooth this out. I should have done that, I guess. But you know, you can always go and you know, make things look much better if you want. You can. So if we smooth that, we can actually go back to this, and we can kind of add in some texture here. So now I really want to get into making some good mountains. So right here, I'm gonna probably just add in a few. Ooh. See, I think that's a little bit too strong. I don't know. I don't really want to. I don't really want to make like a giant like just string. I just want to kind of space some things out. I don't want things to look too crazy at first. I just want to kind of. Whoa! See that? That's too much. I just want to really kind of just. And of course, what we could always do is we can go back to the player, and we can move him on the top here. We want to make sure that his feet are at least on there. Again, we can play this and get a good sense of the environment. And you see, there's some good stuff going on. I don't think that it's too bad. So we kind of have this kind of starting area going. We have a few mountains. We have some good stuff going. So let's keep going with the terrain. I do want to have a good sized mountain range back here. I think that would actually look really nice. So I'm gonna go back into the paint tools, and I'm going to pump up that strength though, and I'm gonna actually make this brush much bigger. So I'm just gonna really start with building out. Whoa, I think that's a bit much. Again, I don't know usually how many people do it, but I kind of like to paint a little bit bit by bit and add small increments to stuff like terrain, because I don't want to overdo it. You know, I want to make subtle changes and whatnot. So right here, you know, it's looking pretty good. Might add a little bit more to this, and I might add some to the back here. And these are much bigger mountains than like this right here, but maybe we can put in like a tower in the front here to make it look a little bit more better. So we kind of have this good kind of start going for this. I'm gonna kind of probably build out a little bit here, and maybe this should just be kind of like a small valley that you know, goes through here, which kind of gets me thinking. You know, I think this is a very good starting area where we could actually put like the Viking village right here. But I feel like this is a bit too hilly for a village specifically. So what I want to do is I want to flatten out some areas, especially a good area for the village itself. So what I'm going to do is going back into the terrain here, I'm going to select this. Really size this down. And then I'm going to go to set height. Now what set height's going to do is it's going to set a specific height for a... it's going to set a specific height for an area. So it's going to kind of flatten an area up. So what I'm going to do is kind of... Right now it's at 0. I think that might be a bit much. I'm gonna try 250. Whoa. Well, that's not what I wanted. What in the heck is going on here? There we go. That is, yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay. I guess, well, maybe 50? I don't know. Okay, so I feel like maybe 5. What I'm doing is, okay, that may be good. Okay, so this is right here 50 or 5. I don't know if I want it that... I don't know. I want it to kind of blend in with what I have now. So I'm going to try 25. That's too much. 15. That's a bit kind of much, maybe. 10. Yeah, this is perfect. So I'm going to kind of just flatten out an area here. And I'm going to kind of maybe do the same. I don't know. I just want to take down some of this a bit. Maybe that could be like a road. It kind of goes down a little bit. And like the thing with me with terrain is I really think that the more kind of you make the terrain kind of cohesive and have it work a little bit, the better the terrain's gonna be. So I am doing a good amount of flattening here. I think I'm gonna go back and go to raise and lower terrain, but I'm really going to increase the brush size, but I'm really gonna go in and kind of just, because I don't want it like completely. I don't want it completely flat, you know? I want it to kind of look a bit... I think that's too much. And then you can go in here and you can smooth the height. You can kind of make it a little bit more blendish. And actually, you can go through and smooth everything out too. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Really smooth some stuff out, make it not so jarring. And another thing you want to kind of think about when building terrain is you want to make things walkable. You want people to be able to walk on things. If they're just gonna not be able to do that, then what's kind of the point? You know, especially in an open world game, you want as much playable space as possible. And you know, sometimes you'd have to create a huge mountain and you'd have to build out like a specific path and whatnot, and that's kind of what these tools are kind of made for. But I'm gonna really just try to smooth out as much as I can. I just want this to look really good. And the more smoother your terrain is, you know, the better your game is gonna run at the end of the day, because it's not having to. Well, actually, no. I think smoothing things out adds more geometry to the terrain. So I don't know. I mean it. But yeah, I'm gonna. Oh yeah, we don't. Again, we want to make sure that our guy. And I don't know why I made this like super, but we want to make sure that our guy's on top of the terrain. There we go. Press F to zoom into him, and I'm gonna make sure that he is on this feet wise. Just want to make sure. Might make him. I might raise him a little bit. I don't know if. I mean, he does drop, so it's not gonna be. Yeah. So this is a good kind of start to, you know, building out a terrain and whatnot. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna paint or attempt to paint some stuff, and how we are gonna accomplish that is paint texture. So from what I understand, to paint a texture, especially different types of layers, is we'll want to create kind of this layer thing right here. So, oof, I don't know about this. Maximize? No. There we go. I'm just gonna pop out the expector because it's kind of hard to see with my camera in the way. But as you can see, here's in the inspector, when you have the terrain selected, you'll want to go to paint texture right here. If you select that, there's going to be this layer palette. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a layer. I'm just going to have dirt. And this is where that asset package or the terrain asset package came in that we downloaded after we download the terrain tools. These are like preset paint layers that you can actually use in your game, which is really handy. So what we could do is we could set dirt, we can add in another layer, and we could add rock if we wish. And then we could add snow. So what we could do is, I can see here, there's a lot of like dirt, and it is very, 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 kind of looking a bit, I don't know. I don't know if I like the dirt being that huge, because yeah, we really need to scale this down, because that is not looking the best. So I want to say you go to the layer properties here. Yes, I think this is what it is. And you see that there's a X and a Y. I want to say you can scale this down. Yeah, I think that looks good. I think that might be too much. Let's try 5. I think 5 might be the magic number. So if we go ahead and play this, you can kind of get a good sense of, yeah, the kind of the terrain. So this is just gonna be normal dirt. I think that still might be a bit big though. Yeah, it just seems a bit big still. So I'm gonna go down to 2. Or maybe 3. I don't really know. I don't really know. You just kind of have to keep it kind of just looking at things and whatnot. I think this is fine. I think this is a good size for this terrain. But this is just dirt. So what we want to do is we want to add more to this. You know, it's just not looking too great right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to rock here, go to rock layer, and I'm going to add in, right? Yeah, so I'm gonna add in the 3. Oh, no, not 2. I'm gonna go 3 and then 3. And what you can actually do is you can actually paint. And actually paint this texture on. So you see right here, again, this is not really the best. It's not looking too good. Let me try 10. Okay. Yeah, so I think the rock is something that we might want to have a little bit more bigger. I'm guessing. Because by default it was gonna be at. Whoa, no, that's not what I want. Oh yeah, I think the bigger the rock is, the better. Maybe the dirt too. Let's try the dirt one. Let's go up to 100 again and see what this dirt looked like from a. No, like, I don't know. The dirt looked really kind of much. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. Let me deselect. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure about this this dirt, man. Like, it looks kind of like it looks like it's zoomed in. So yeah, I don't like it. I really don't. I'm gonna keep it at that. I think that's fine. I might even change it to 20. I don't know. This is really kind of hard to guesstimate. Does it just like it just seems like it really is smoother away than it is up close. I guess that's kind of what dirt should look like. I just don't know. It's kind of hard to ascertain. And what I was gonna do is I was gonna add more layers and kind of build on top of the dirt and stuff. And then there's gonna be a point where we're gonna start working on different trees. But I want to go back to the rock texture here, and I want to first I'm gonna kind of paint out where I want this rock texture to go, and then I think what I'm gonna do after I get the rocks painted on is I'm gonna go back into those areas. I'm gonna put a little bit more jagginess to the those mountains right there because they do look a bit smooth. So I do want to kind of fix some things, and I want to kind of try to get a good. I try to want to work with the texture itself and try to highlight those areas where it's gonna look a little bit more kind of ragged and rocky and blocky. So I want to kind of get a good sense of where the dirt and where the rock should kind of end and whatnot. So and of course in a game like this, like Vikings, you know, I'll probably add in trees and whatnot. There's probably going to be a lot of snow around too, so because I'm kind of thinking about kind of making this a bit snowy. So yeah, we're gonna kind of paint out these areas with the rock. So if we go zoom out, we're just gonna kind of paint a bit. And I just want to make these look as good as possible. And I might kind of size this down a bit and kind of blend some stuff in. I might even do that with the I might try to blend some of the dirt with the rock too. That's kind of the especially kind of at a lower kind of level of it. So that's kind of the thing about what makes terrain really unique is, you know, you kind of have to blend and make kind of it, you know, have different things kind of come together almost. So that's what I'm going to try to kind of do. I'm going to try to really... No, I don't like that. I don't want to have it, you know, super crazy. I think that's fine. I think that looks really good. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into this. And I'm going to go back and I'm really going to just try to create a little bit more jagginess to these. I didn't like that. Whoa, what? There we go. Oh, don't like that. Again, I'm just kind of going through and I'm just clicking like once. I just want to make things look a little bit more jagged. Make things a little bit more not as smooth, basically. I'm even gonna add in, might even go, you know, it's never a bad idea to do the inverse. Hold down control and make things kind of a bit more jagged, but So we have I'll kind of space this out, and I'll kind of add some to this area right here. I don't like that. I'm just trying to look at kind of the height of everything. Again, we'll want to add in, I didn't paint any like rock texture here, but we can do that. So I don't know. I don't like how jagged this is. So I think this is a bit much actually. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in here and I'm just gonna smooth some areas out. It never hurts to go in and smooth and to really paint out different areas and really just, you know, smooth things out. So what I'm going to do is, so we have kind of this town area that we can kind of build in, but we want to have a camp. So what I was thinking is, there has to be like a Viking camp of maybe, you know, and this is kind of where kind of some of the story pops in with, you know, laying out levels, but like say in this Viking zombie game, let's say that, you know, there's a few survivors in your Viking village, and these zombies started popping out of the ground, and you guys, you know, just ran and kind of built out a good secluded camp that is heavily defended. So we need to kind of think about something like that. So what we can do is we can kind of pick an area to have a camp. And I was actually thinking about maybe having something around here. I think would be kind of good, kind of a bit hidden. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to set height. I'm really going to change this, have this go down. And then it's right now at 10. I'm going to change that to 30. I just want to... Okay, so that's kind of where that's at. I don't want it to be 30 though. I'm gonna see, what about 40? That's good. And then what I'm gonna do as well is I'm gonna smooth the hideout a little bit around this area. I don't want it to be too crazy around here, but I definitely feel like I'm going to add a little bit of detail to this, a little bit. I'm gonna go to raise and lower terrain. I'm gonna really turn this down. I'm gonna probably... So I want to add a little bit more to kind of just the area. I just want to make it a little bit, just make it blend in with the scale of the player. So I might even put in some, well, that's a bit high, but I might even put in some higher mountains here. And again, I'm gonna go back to this kind of area where I set the height, and I'm going to add some stuff here. So now what I'm gonna do is there's this bridge thing that I was using earlier, and I really want to add in an area where I can build in like a small little path to go down here. And what I'm gonna do is again, I forgot how to, oh, control and click. So what I can do is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create some points. So I'm gonna create another height set. But this is gonna be, I think this was set at like 5, right? And then 40. So I'm gonna go down to 25. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna really make this smaller. I'm gonna go to a smaller brush size. And I'm gonna, I think so. Maybe I'm gonna go to 35 actually. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to Sculpt Bridge, and I'm gonna try to make this bigger, but try to, I think that's too big. I still think that's a bit big. There. So for Sculpt Bridge, it says to control plus click to set start point, and then click to connect the bridge. So this is kind of my camp area that I have set up. Whoa. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to control and click. So I have a point there you can kind of see. And then I am going to make this a bit smaller. I'm going to click, and there you go. That is... I don't like that though. I'm gonna go much smaller and see what that does. Actually, no, this is what I'm gonna do. I am gonna go more. I'm gonna try to make this a little bit. No, that's still too big. Yeah, that's just way too big. I don't... Okay. I'm just trying to get a good sense of, okay, I think that's fine. So then we can do this, and then we can have a... kind of do something like that. So we kind of have this path going right here. So now what we could do is we can smooth out the height. Whoa. Or no, not set height. We can smooth everything out. And kind of the thing that I was trying to avoid is having like these jagged areas, but we can actually add in kind of some of this. So we could smooth out all of this stuff right here, and we can, you know, do all that. But kind of like what we did around the small like Viking camp, is we can actually go in and we can just add in the smaller details. So what we could actually do too is we could actually just lower, I guess. No, I don't want to do that. Yeah, let's kind of do that. So let's just add in a little bit of jankiness. Again, just kind of make it a little bit imperfect. Kind of like how nature actually ends up looking. And you could always, you know, lower things out a little bit. And then, again, with the smooth height, want to kind of smooth out this path that we've kind of made for ourselves. We want to make sure that this is walkable. There's not a lot of areas where, you know, you can get stuck on. That's kind of the most important part. We want to make sure we have as much playable space as possible. And even right here, we might want to set, you know, the height to be, what was it, the 40? So again, we can set the height to, that we had here, and we really just smooth this out and make it just walkable. Smooth out the edges. So, what we end up with is we kind of end up with this cool mountain range area. Wait, what? What? Wait. Why is my character walking? Oh, that's a really weird bug. So, kind of the interesting part that we want to keep in mind with this is we want to make sure that the player can see different areas in the game. This is kind of an odd. You can't really see like the set path. I'm thinking about maybe just raising this kind of area right here up and sloping it more, because it's kind of hard to tell that there should be a path here. So I might actually set another bridge and make it really kind of come out more. And you'll want to add in some indicators, like, you know, we'll probably add trees later on, and whatnot, and we'll try to make sure that there's areas that there will be a path, won't have a lot of trees. So, kind of the goal, I think, next video is to start kind of thinking about the map and start kind of making it a little bit more navigatable. Of course, there's not really much point in exploring this area, but what I kind of like right here is there's kind of a nice viewpoint of the whole entire area, and that is something that we can really use to our advantage. So I think with that in mind, we're going to stop this video because it's kind of approaching an hour, and I think this is a really good start to kind of an open world area. We're not going to build out a huge map, but I would like to, you know, place maybe a good starting area and kind of give you some pointers and really kind of give you a sense of different things to look for when creating an open world type of environment. So tomorrow I will upload a video, and this week we'll really focus on this game, and then yeah, next week we're going to be working in Unreal. So look forward to that, and if you guys want to see any more of my videos, feel free to subscribe and leave any comments that you want. If there's a way that I can improve the workflow or improve the videos, you know, feel free to let me know. Yeah, this is kind of the first video of Blocktober, and I think that it's just really cool. We'll start kind of just going into like the block out portion of Unity kind of tomorrow. So yeah, I look forward to you know, sharing with you guys this process, and I hope you guys have a great day. Have a good one.